Hey everyone, we will give everyone a few seconds to get logged on and to find us in their news feed. Let me pull this up on my Facebook and we will get going. Okay, we may have a small group today. I wasn't sure this was all going to work out, so I didn't do a lot of posting ahead of time that I would be here, but I know that some people will catch me on the replay. So I'm Lola Rist with LolaRist.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and we are going to spend some time this week on looking at some of the things that are leaving us, some of the things that are on the last chance list. Now, doesn't mean that they're going to have disappeared yet, but they are things that are on the last chance list that are supposed to eventually leave us. And some of these things are things that I've had, but I haven't. I'm just like you. I know there are people out there that say, hey, I haven't played with this yet. I haven't played with that yet. That's exactly what this week's going to be about. It's looking at things that haven't had a chance to really play with or haven't really gotten enough out of it. So anything that I post this week, including tomorrow on our group page with Pam, it's going to be some things that are leaving us. Now, the nice thing about this last chance list used to be that when it was retired and it was no longer available, it was gone. And we were unable to use it. But now with the last chance list, as long as there's still some in stock, we can keep working with those projects. We can keep working with the bundles and the stamps and the dies and the paper and using it for creations so that gives you more opportunity to see more things being created with it. So today I'm going to go on ahead and I'm working with these two pieces right here. I'm looking at the Country Birdhouse and the Country Flowers. I have had these, but I haven't had a lot of chance to play with them. I've had opportunities of ideas of things that have popped up, but to actually sit down and put it in paper and to actually do the work, I haven't had a lot. I've done more with this one than I have with the Country Birdhouse. So our Stampin' Sip group is going to be meeting in a couple weeks, and I wanted to do a sampler with the Country Birdhouse. Now keep in mind, it is supposed to be leaving us, although I believe that date is still available for the last chance list. But as long as it's on the last chance list, you can still see us pulling stuff out and using it and creating with it. I wanted to do a framed piece of work, and I just literally went to Dollar Tree and found a white 5x7 frame. I'm going to go on ahead and do a horizontal frame with it, and I'm going to get my frame ready. While I do that, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to be pairing this with the Country Woods DSP. The Country Woods paper is staying in the catalog. It carried over to the new catalog. And so that's awesome because I have quite a bit of that and I wanted to use that. And I wanted to treat my Stampin' Up! People with it, my Stampin' Sip gals with it. So we are going to be using it, and it will still be available once the old catalog is gone and the new one goes into place. So all I'm going to do is take out the advertisement page that was in it. I took out the glass, and I put in a piece of DSP from the Country Woods. Now there's multiple different patterns in the Country Woods. Probably my favorite is the one that's got the multi shades of boards all along the way, you know, the blue, the brown, like petal pink, calypso coral type things. And it's a variety, but I didn't want to use it on this paper or this project. So we're using one that it's not my favorite piece. So we're going to start with this one, and I literally cut it 5 by 7, okay? And then I took some of the pieces of the frame and the country birdhouse, and specifically I'm working a lot with the dies. These are all cut out of the paper that I'm talking about, the Country Woods. I have all sorts of little pieces that go together. And then I have a flower or a couple of flowers. I have more pieces here. I have a couple of flowers that came from the country flowers pieces that are part of the big suite, and a die piece that is just the leaves out of Old Olive. I've gone on ahead and done all of my coloring ahead of time because you don't need to see me color. You just want to see me put it together and how we create it. So these are the colored pieces that I have already used and put together, and they're just going to set off up to the side here. My color combos were Poppy Parade, Flirty Flamingo, Lemon Lime Twist, and the Granny Apple Green and Old Olive. So very similar. All right, so these pieces are all from the dies, and I just went on ahead and I ran them. Even though they're not stamped, I went on ahead and I ran them because I'm going to show you how we can work with them. Even though they're not stamped, we can create the stamps and put on it, and it'll still work. So we're going to start with the birdhouse, and I'm going to go on ahead, and the birdhouse will have this piece added to it for the roof line. And then it has the little gingerbread piece that gives it a little more of a Victorian birdhouse look. And we're going to glue that all together. And then we have a little piece for the bottom. And that's okay, but I want to add shading to this. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to start with the birdhouse. And I'm going to take Calypso Coral ink. I could take my blending brush. I also, though, like to use little sponges, and I just cut little sponges. I want to just stress it a little bit by adding a little color on the edge. I'm not going to try to get too heavy. I just want something that's going to make the edge of that pop against that background. Okay? Something that's going to make it stand out more on this side versus over here where it's really difficult to see. So let's do both sides here. No need to do the roof line because keep in mind the roof line is going to be covered with the roof piece and the gingerbread. Okay, and then I also want to try to get in here. So I'm going to come from the center of the circle and I'm going to work out. A blending brush would work. You just have to be a little more careful. I am going to be using something like this to show them in Stampin' Sip, and I don't have that many brushes. I have a lot of brushes, but for everybody to have their own brushes to use and everything, I didn't worry about it. So I'm going to show you another technique, which is the sponge, and it works too. Okay, so we're going to stop with that one. Let's go on ahead and switch this from Calypso Coral to Coastal Cabana. And we're going to start with, again, just a piece of sponge. You can get your sponges. You can go to Dollar Tree and get sponges. You can go to Walmart and get sponges. These just happen to be ones that I had bought when Stampin' Up! Did away with their big chunky sponges several years ago. They were like, I don't know, $2, $3 for a package of 3 or 4 sponges, big round ones. I ended up with like 8 or 9 packages because hello there. I have used and used and used, and we are down to getting close to the end. All right. And I think while I'm at it, I'm going to go on ahead and do this side too a little bit so that I really have that darker color here. So we are in the process. Pool Boy is doing so well, and the doctors are fine. Everybody is on board. They were like, yep, it's okay, you can go. We are hoping to head to Destin, Florida next week. We both feel like we need a little time away. So we're heading to Destin, and the weather's supposed to be beautiful. And then I'm back like a week and a day, and I turn around and head off to Disney World with Stampin' Up. So now I'm going to take basic gray, and I'm going to do the same thing with this on this edge. Again, I just ran all of these dies using all of these pieces using the dies. You always think that, you know, you've got to stamp it first or whatever. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can always, if there's a will, there's a way. So we're going to go on ahead and put this here. And again, just a little bit along the edge to tone down the white. Maybe a little on the peak. Okay. All right, so we can go on ahead and put this much together. So let's start with this piece here. And we're gonna go on ahead and put my adhesive on it. You could use adhesive sheets. If you'd wanted to put under the DSP, I could have done that. I started to think about it and I'm like, no. I always think that wastes a lot too. Well, my machine, my thing here is not working very well. So you could also use okay, look, we're just going to switch this out for now, even though it is a brand new one. I'll be right back. On occasion, they don't work the greatest. Hey, Lynn. So we are going to go on ahead and switch this out and put a different one in. So, Lynn, I'm pulling out some stamps this week of things, stamps, bundles, dies that I have had and haven't used. And you're not going to believe it, but I haven't used Country Birdhouse. Can you believe it? So I'm going to run that. Run this here. And we're going to use that Country Birdhouse to make a framed piece. And run it right along the edge so that it is right in position with everything. Okay, there's just a hair, so I'm just gonna snip that. Okay, same thing with this piece. Oh, did you? I did not use it for Christmas. It would have been pretty. Just never got around to using it. So that's what Pam's going to do tomorrow too. We're just going to pull out things that we've not used to try to encourage everybody. Don't let them go. Get them out, use them. I said, Lynn, I do hope that the whole idea of the last chance list, I think, is going to help us, because even though things are starting to retire or they're no longer available in a catalog, if they're last chance list, I still think that we'll be using them for a while. I know I picked out several things that after the holiday catalog. I've had quite a few people buy things off of that list still. And as long as some of that stuff is available, I think we can use it at Christmas time too. I'm going to try to put a little right up in there just so that it gives a little of shading on that's overhanging. Okay, so I'm going to put that on here like so. But I think first we're going to take the bird, and I had already colored a bunch of things. So I'm going to go on ahead and run a little bit of adhesive right along here so that the bird's head can come out, but it's now part and stuck in the back, okay? All right, so we're going to set this off to the side. That's in good shape. This one goes with it. Now let's take these. I have some pieces here that I literally ran the piece, but I didn't stamp it. So let's stamp them now. I'm going to stamp things with black Memento. So let me pull the black. And what I'm doing is if I lay that on a piece of black paper, I can see the outline pretty good. Now, if I'm off a little bit, it's okay. I can trim it. But this way, I can easily stamp it right here, and I don't have to have my die cut machine right in front of me with you there. Okay, so there's one. Got about 3 pieces I need to stamp that way. So let's clean this. And then we're going to go again. This time, let's pull this off and use this bucket. And I have it in the blue, the same as the roof of the birdhouse. So let's go on ahead and ink it up. And I'm just going to lay it on here. And again, if I'm off a little, it's okay. I can trim. You need the black, though, to be able to see. If you don't, then you won't be able to see the edge as well, and you will come closer to making a mistake. In fact, with class for Stampin' Up! Or Stampin' Sip, we're gonna run some of these pieces ahead and have the black paper there that people can stamp with, because even if they make a mistake and we have to run a couple of them, they're not going to mess every one of these up. And that will save some time on running. So, all right, here's the teapot. And I believe that is all of the pieces to stamp on that. And then I believe I have a white label. There it is. So I went and took the label that is with the Spotlights in Nature. And I pulled one of these out, and we're going to use it and put a label on here. So this is going to be a gift. Haven't decided for sure which person is getting it. I have 2 people that I'd like to give a gift to at church. And so I don't know which one's going to get it. Or if I'll turn around and do another whole one behind it. So let's use this stamp that says Flower Market. And now everything is stamped, and I have my stamps up here out of the way, stuck to something, so I can't lose them. And I believe we can get rid of this. Okay, so we're gonna go on ahead and get rid of some of this excess. There's a little bit of extra piece in here that I really don't like. I wish the die had had this cut out a little better between the legs. So I'm just gonna go in there and tweak it a little bit. Same thing here. And here. Okay, just that little bit of tweaking makes a difference. Now, let's go on ahead and come back and let's start again with the color. And we're gonna use this Calypso Coral and we're gonna add some color. Now, if you had blends, you could also use your blends to color some of this in. I'm looking at a group of people that I know I only have so much time, and I also have so many blends, and I know that I've got to get them, we've got to get it done. And they've got quite a bit of coloring that I'm going to have them do. So number one, I will be stamping all of these pieces and die cutting them so they can start right in on the coloring. And then I went with something that was a lot faster for adding shading. And I'm just going to go with that little piece of sponge and just kind of round it off a little bit. It's just going to give a little bit of added shape to it and dimension so that it really does have a more of a 3D effect. Okay, versus being flat. So we're done with that one. And we have a stamp ink pad that's caught. Now, I'm going to show you, because every once in a while, you'll have one that doesn't come loose, and you have to try to figure out how. In the back, there is a hole right there. My scissor will just fit in it. Now, keep in mind, these are extremely sharp, so I keep my hand way up, and I angle the scissors down, and I put that in there, and then I just push. And all I need is a little bit of give without stabbing myself to get it to move. And sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you have to push a little more. And sometimes you have to call Pool Boy. And Pool Boy will come and help me. But we will get it before I'm done with these to put away. There it goes. Just that little bit of push. But again, scissors down, hand up, so that you're not stabbing yourself. Okay, let's go with this one. And we're gonna go with this pot. And I had Coastal Cabana. So I'm just taking a piece of old sponge, and I'm just gonna go along the edge and the handle. Now, some people are extremely heavy with this. Less is more, people. Do not be getting in here and going so that you are so dark that it's like, ooh. Less is more. You just want some shade to it. You don't want ink like that. Don't do that. Just keeping it light. Okay? In fact, I'm going to put some, if I can, right here to try to get this rounded look. And if you didn't have anything in the top, you'd want to do the top too. I'm going to have flour that's going to completely cover it, so I'm not worried about that. All right, and we have 2 more pieces, and then we are done and ready to put our frame together. It helps when you can do as much prep ahead of time. All right, so we're going to take Early Espresso, and I have this stool that they have here, the little footstool, and I'm going to try to just go along the edges of the legs and a little bit on the end, just to give it a little more rounded edge. Kind of ages it, distresses it just a little bit to make it not quite so paper looking. Okay, you got to tell me, does that not look more realistic? Okay, and then I have this one, and this is not a stamp. This is a die. This is only the die that comes in the Country Flowers. All of these came from the Country Flowers. All of those come from the Country Flowers and the floral pieces that I have that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to go on ahead, and I ran this with the wood on the outside. I'm just going to go along it. So it's nice when Stampin' Up! Also will give us a piece that maybe we don't have the stamp set to it, but we don't need it because this by itself works just fine. And if you really want to try, you could even try to put it a little bit more in the middle like it's a divided section. Okay, weathered it. Okay, so now let's go on back and we can put our frame together. I have always been one that loves not only the cards, I love frames. I've always loved home decor pieces, and I just sit down and I just throw them together. I just love it. So, in my head, I had one of these figured out, but I had no clue how I was going to get it done because I didn't have time to put one together. So I craft a lot on the fly. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to put this piece down. And I think I'm gonna go on ahead and use a dimensional on it. And I'm gonna come up because I'm gonna tuck it in and have it go down because I want it to be on that piece. I don't want this sticking up. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to try to tuck it down a little more. And because I do not have the height, it should go something like this for the piece, for the base. I don't have the height in my 5x7 frame to do that. So instead, I'm going to actually cover this part up and I'm going to cut it off. Like so. Now it looks like a music stand. Okay, I'm going to try to just center. I'm not going to be that realistic about it. You know? Okay. All right, some dimensionals on the back of this. You know, Linda, I thought I had posted a thing that said I would be here. And I guess I didn't because I can't find it. So nobody knew I was here. It was just, it was secret. It was just a secret. It's just you and me and Lynn here. So the focus this week, Linda, is going to be on pulling out stamp sets that I have not had a chance to use. Things that I know that are not going to be carrying over. Now, if it's carrying over, I'm not going to stress too much about it. But if it's something that's not carrying over, I'm going to at least try to get something out of it and use it. So Pam and I are both doing that. We're looking at things that we have not used. And one of those things for me is the birdhouse. I've not used the birdhouse. And I didn't center that very well, but that's okay. Because that's not centered, but that's okay. We'll hide it. I'll hide it. So now I've got all these other pieces. And what do I want to do? I kind of want this to be here. And I think I kind of want this to be out here. Instead of flush to this piece, I think I'm going to put it on the actual frame. Hey, Sandy Were, nice to have you. Oh, Sandy, your babies were so cute yesterday. Your grandbabies. She has twin little girls. And I honestly don't think I've seen them. I have not seen them in person. If they've come before, I've missed it. So we have this one. Somebody was crying back there, and I wasn't sure if they were crying because of my playing or if they were just had enough. I don't know if it was yours or not. And then I'm going to put this one, and I think I'm going to go this one here, and maybe this here, And I'm kind of eyeballing it. I'm not sure if I'm liking this or not. I may switch it up. Because I think I want more birdhouse on the flower on the birdhouse. So I think I'm going to switch it. I think this is going over here. Hey, Rhonda. Yeah, it's just a secretive thing here. I didn't advertise it like I thought I did. My life is kind of like that right at this moment. And I think I'm going to post this down here to kind of give us that. And then I'm going to got a little frame here. I'm going to put a little flower there. And then with the whole special magic of TV, I'm just going to pop another little flower in here. You know, I had it already colored. I just didn't have it put together. And I might even, you know, sometimes less is more and sometimes more is more. And then if I do that, maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll do this instead. I kind of like it. And it's $1.25 frame. Oh, Matthew didn't cry, but Matthew did yell, "We're done," when communion music stopped. Well, I'm glad that he knew it was appropriate to yell it then, okay? All right, so now I kind of have to work at it a little at a time because I don't want to take it all off. So I'm going to go on ahead, and this was flat, so let's put this here. And we're going to go on ahead and plop this one up here. I went with a few of these. Not too many, just a couple. And I'm going to not push it down yet because I want to make sure it's visible behind this. Okay. All right. And I think I'm going to put that on dimensionals. It is cute. It is cute. I just don't know who's going to get it. It could either go to my secret sister at church, or it could go to someone else that I've really been appreciative of at church for doing something that I've been wanting to tell her thank you. All right, so we're going to go with this, and I'm going to put a little adhesive here. Now, if you put things on the outside of the frame, that means you're not going to be able to use the frame for anything else, but you know, it's $1.25. Hello. You just never know what you're going to find in Dollar Tree. So you need to go into Dollar Tree and check it out every so often because they rotate their frames around. They'll pull old frames when new frames come in, and I think I'm going to stack that. And then my flowers again, Poppy Parade, Flirty Flamingo, and Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green. Okay. And I want it to kind of cover there. And I should have put, I have glue dots. I didn't bring glue dots out. How can I not use dot dots? So we'll run a little tape here and put it back down so that the flower stays like so. Okay, and then we're gonna plop this one on. Let's see, do we like it flat or should it go on with a dimensional? Oh, it needs a dimensional. Okay, so now let's kind of play with this one. So this one I had down here. I had it on this side here. And so I'm going to put some adhesive down at the bottom. And then I'm going to put dimensionals up here and I'm going to stack them. 1, 2, and then pull them How was St. Charles? Rhonda, I saw that you were complaining about I-70 eastbound. You said it was like a parking lot? Must have been jam-packed with traffic. Okay. So I'm going to go on ahead. Now that's there. I'm going to put my pot on here. So if you didn't see what I did with this shading, I turned around and I took the, I took sponges and I added color with an edge of my sponge and my ink pads. You could do the same if you had blending brushes, but knowing that I was going to use this in a project that had quite a few people next week, not this one, but something similar to it, because we're doing a 12 by 12 frame instead. I knew that I didn't have a lot of enough brushes for gobs of people to have different brushes. And let's be truthful, some people get really heavy-handed with their blending brushes. So I just am going to cut out some pieces of sponge and let them add the coloring that way. Okay. So we're going to add this. I'm going to maybe tip it a little different because I don't want it to look exactly like that one. And we're going to rotate that one a little bit. Same thing. Two more, and we're almost done with my frame. And hope and pray that I actually have it standing upright. Okay. So I kind of turned it so that this flower went up. That way it's not exactly identical. And we're going to put this here on dimensionals. And honest to gosh, other than some time and literally scraps of paper, nothing else other than the big 5x7 piece, which is like 5x7, that's it. You could use anything else. Nothing else here. And a frame of $1.25. So a lot of costs. You know, they can use it, and then if they don't like it anymore after a while, if it comes spring and summer and they want to get rid of it, so be it. I think, though, I wanted another flower. Where did I go with it? Doodaloo. Okay. Oh, well, I'll have to add some more. So I'm going to go on ahead and put another floral piece here. Does it need it? Oh, that's kind of nice. I like it down there. Or do you like it more on the birdhouse? I don't know. What do you think? Low or high? Somebody tell me. Low or high? There's high. There's low. I kind of like low. I'm looking at it in the picture. I like it low and nobody said anything, so low it is. Okay. And there's my frame. $1.25. Oh, good, Vicki. I'm glad you said it. And she's a florist, so she should know. She had a floral shop, so she should know. All right, so there it is. Is that not cute? And that is all with the set of the country birdhouse and the country flowers that go together. You could use just one or the other. You'll notice I have the flowers here. I didn't have the big piece. The big floral comes from this. I love this potted plant here. I love that. I have to admit, I love all of the rustic pieces. And by adding that ink along the edge, it just gives a little more depth to it. So that's my project. I do have some gems, so I forgot. Let's throw a few of these on because, you know, heck, we always need a little more glitz and stuff. So let's just put a few pieces of gems and Okay, that's my project for the day, guys. So grab a frame, grab some of your dies, and start playing. You noticed I had an idea, but I didn't have one put together. I just ran some pieces, and I had it all set, and it works out great. And I think that whoever gets that, whether it's either of the two people that I plan to give it to, I think they're going to pull it out, and they're going to say, oh, how cute. And then when they're sick of it, they can get rid of it. So, all right, take care. I will not be here next week. Pool Boy and I had made plans to be in Florida to Destin to do nothing but just to sit. And we have been given permission from the cardiologist, family doctor. Everybody's like, I think it's fine. You're on your meds. You're taking your meds. You're doing great. Things are improving. It's okay. So we are going to head to Destin for a while next week, and then we'll be back. So don't expect to see me on Monday unless I take a video of my feet in the sand. I might do that. Also, don't forget paper shares. Paper shares to sign up are this week. Paper shares are the absolute best way to get a little of every paper so that you can decide what you really, really like. Because I'm going to tell you, I love Country Woods. But when I got it, I thought, oh, I got to have the Country Lace too. I have 3 packages of Country Lace that I really don't like. But I love this, and I could have had more than 3 or 4 of these. So paper shares are a great way to get a 6x6 piece of every new paper that's available. And you're looking at about less than 35 cents a piece. You probably could craft with all of those 200 pieces for a long time before you really had to go and order any more DSP, unless you have one that you say, oh, I love this Country Woods. Let me order that. And then you can go and do what some of us like to do, and we order like 8 or 10 of those. So anyhow, be looking. Paper shares are only good this week, and then the catalog goes next week, and I will be sending off for the paper shares immediately after I get back when the catalog goes live. So, all right, take care. God bless. Actually, the catalog goes live while I'm in Florida, so I'll be ordering it then. That means that I'm 1 hour away. Is Destin Eastern time? No. I don't think so either. That's good. I don't have to think about something different. All right, take care. God bless, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.